Walt Disney's Bambi. Bambi. When Bambi was born, the forest animals came to greet him. Bambi came into the world in the middle of a forest thicket. The little hidden thicket was scarcely big enough for the new baby and his mother. But the magpie soon spied him there. "What a beautiful baby," she cried, and away she flew to spread the news to all the other animals in the forest. Her chattering soon brought dozens of birds and animals to the thicket. The rabbits came hurrying, the squirrels came a-scurrying, the robins and bluebirds fluttered and flew. At last even an old owl spoke up from his long sleep. "Hoo-hoo," the owl said sleepily, hearing all the commotion. "Wake up, friend owl," a rabbit called. "It's happened! The young prince is born!" "Everyone's going to see him," said the squirrels. "You come too." With a sigh, the owl spread his wings and flew off toward the thicket. There he found squirrels and rabbits and birds peering through the bushes at a doe and a little spotted fawn. The fawn was Bambi, the new prince of the forest. "Congratulations," said the owl, speaking for all the animals. "This is quite an occasion. It isn't often that a prince is born in the forest." The doe looked up. "Thank you," she said quietly. Then with her nose, she gently nudged her sleeping baby until he lifted his head and looked around. She nudged him again and licked him reassuringly. At last he pushed up on his thin legs, trying to stand. "Look, he's trying to stand up already," shouted one of the little rabbits, Thumper by name. "He's awfully wobbly, though, isn't he?" "Thumper," the mother rabbit exclaimed, pulling him back. "That's not a pleasant thing to say." The new fawn's legs were not very steady, it was true, but at last he stood beside his mother. Now all the animals could see the fine spots on his red-brown coat and the sleepy expression on the soft baby face. The forest around him echoed with countless small voices. A soft breeze rustled the leaves about the thicket, and the watching animals whispered among themselves, but the little fawn did not listen to any of them. He only knew that his mother's tongue was licking him softly, washing and warming him, nestled closer to her, and closed his sleepy eyes. Thumper, the bunny, became Bambi's first friend. Quietly, the animals and birds slipped away through the forest. Thumper, the rabbit, was the last to go. "What are you going to name the young prince?" he asked. "I'll call him Bambi," the mother answered. "Bambi," Thumper repeated. "Bambi, that's a good name. Goodbye, Bambi," and he hopped away after his sisters. Bambi was not a sleepy baby for long. Soon he was following his mother down the narrow forest paths. Bright flowers winked from beneath the leaves. Prickly branches tickled his legs as he passed. Squirrels and chipmunks looked up and called, "Good morning, young prince." Opossums, hanging by their long tails from a tree branch, said, "Hello, Prince Bambi." The fawn looked at them with wondering eyes, but he did not say a word. Finally, as Bambi, his mother, reached a little clearing in the forest, they met Thumper and his family. "Hi, Bambi," said Thumper. "Come on and play." "Yes, let's play," Thumper's sister cried, and away they hopped over branches and hillocks and tufts of grass. Bambi soon understood the game, and he began to jump and run on his stiff, spindly legs. Thumper jumped over a log, and his sister followed. "Come on, Bambi," Thumper called. "Hop over the log." Bambi jumped, but not far enough. He fell with a plop on top of the log. "Too bad," said Thumper. "You'll do better next time." He learned to play games with the bunnies. Bambi untangled his legs and stood up again, but still he could not speak. He pranced along behind Thumper, and soon he saw a family of birds sitting on a branch. Bambi looked at them. "Those are birds, Bambi," Thumper told him. "Birds! Bird!" Bambi said slowly. The young prince had spoken his first word. Thumper and his sisters were all excited, and Bambi himself was pleased. He repeated the word over and over to himself. "Bird, bird, bird." Then he saw a butterfly cross his path. "Bird, bird," he cried again. "No, Bambi," said Thumper, "that's not a bird. That's a butterfly." The butterfly disappeared into a clump of yellow flowers. Bambi bounded toward them happily. "Butterfly," he cried. "No, Bambi," said Thumper, "not butterfly. Flower." He pushed his nose into the flowers and sniffed. Bambi did the same, but suddenly he drew back. His nose had touched something warm and furry. Out from the bed of flowers came a small black head with two shining eyes. "Flower," said Bambi. The black eyes twinkled as the little animal stepped out. The white stripe down his furry back glistened in the sun. Thumper the rabbit was laughing so hard he could scarcely speak. "That's not a flower," said Thumper. "That's a skunk." "Flower," repeated Bambi. "I don't care," said the skunk. "The young prince can call me Flower if he wants to. I don't mind." "Flower," Bambi repeated. So Flower the skunk got his name. One morning, Bambi and his mother walked down a new path. It grew lighter and lighter as they walked along. Soon the trail ended in a tangle of bushes and vines, and Bambi could see a great, bright, open space spread out before them. Bambi wanted to bound out there to play in the sunshine, but his mother stopped him. "Wait," she said. "You must never run out on the meadow without making sure it's safe." She took a few slow, careful steps forward. She listened and sniffed in all directions. Then she called, "Come." Bambi bounded out. He felt so good and so happy that he leaped into the air again and again, for the meadow was the most beautiful place he had ever seen. His mother dashed forward and showed him how to race and play in the tall grass. Bambi ran after her. He felt as if he were flying. Round and round they raced in great circles. At last his mother stopped and stood still, catching her breath. He saw his own face in a meadow pool. Then Bambi set out by himself to explore the meadow. Soon he spied his little friend the skunk sitting in the shade of some blossoms. "Good morning, Flower," said Bambi, and he found Thumper and his sisters nibbling sweet clover. "Try some," Bambi said Thumper, so Bambi did. Suddenly a big green frog popped out of the clover patch and hopped over to a meadow pond. Bambi had not seen the pond before, so he hurried over for a closer look. As the fawn came near, the frog hopped into the water. Where could he have gone? Bambi wondered, so he bent down to look into the pond. As the ripples cleared, Bambi jumped back, for he saw a fawn down there in the water looking at him. "Don't be frightened, Bambi," his mother told him. "You are just seeing yourself in the water." Bambi met another little fawn. Her name was Feline. So Bambi looked once more. This time he saw two fawns looking back at him. He jumped back again, and as he lifted his head, he saw that it was true. There was another little fawn standing behind him. "Hello," she said. Bambi backed away and ran to his mother, where she was quietly eating grass beside another doe. Bambi leaned against her and peered out at the other fawn who had followed him. "Don't be afraid, Bambi," his mother said. "This is little Feline, and this is your Aunt Ina. Can't you say hello to them?" "Hello, Bambi," said the two deer, but Bambi did not say a word. "You have been wanting to meet other deer," his mother reminded him. "Well, Aunt Ina and Feline are deer like us. Now can't you speak to them?" "Hello," whispered Bambi in a small voice. "Come and play, Bambi," said Feline. She leaned forward and licked his face. Bambi dashed away as fast as he could, and Feline raced after him. They almost flew over the meadow. Up and down they chased each other. Over the hillocks they raced, and they stopped all topsy-turvy and breathless. They were good friends, and they walked side by side on the bright meadow, visiting quietly together. One morning, Bambi woke up shivering with cold. Even before he opened his eyes, his nose told him there was something new and strange in the world. Then he looked out of the thicket. Everything was covered with white. "It's snow, Bambi," his mother said. "Go ahead and walk out. It's all right." Bambi stepped out onto the snow very cautiously. His feet sank deep into the soft blanket. He had to lift them up high as he walked along. Now and then, with a soft plop, a tiny snow heap would tumble from a leaf overhead onto his nose or back. Bambi was delighted. The sun glittered so brightly on the whiteness. The air was so mild and clear, and all around him, snow stars came twirling down. From the crest of a little hill, he saw Thumper. Thumper was sitting on top of the pond. "Come on, Bambi," Thumper shouted. "Look, the water's stiff." He thumped one foot against the solid ice. "You can even slide on it, watch." Thumper took a run and slid swiftly across the pond. Bambi tried it too, but his legs shot out from under him, and down he crashed on the hard ice. That was not so much fun. "Let's play something else," Bambi suggested, when he had carefully pulled himself to his feet again. "Where's Flower?" "I think I know," said Thumper. He led Bambi to the doorway of a deep burrow. They peered down into it. There, peacefully sleeping on a bed of withered flowers, lay the little skunk. "Wake up, Flower," Bambi called. "Is it spring yet?" Flower asked sleepily, half opening his eyes. "No, winter's just beginning," Bambi said. "What are you doing?" "Hibernating," the little skunk replied. "Flowers always sleep in the winter, you know." Thumper yawned. "I guess I'll take a nap too," he said. "Goodbye, Bambi. I'll see you later." So Bambi was left alone. Sadly, he wandered back to the thicket. "Don't fret, Bambi," his mother said. "Winter will soon be over, and spring will come again." So Bambi went to sleep beside his mother in the snug, warm thicket, and dreamed of jolly games that he and his friends would play in the wonderful spring to come. Bambi and his friends would play together in the spring.